welcome back to Dose of Joy. Today we have a bit of a scenery change around here because we're going to be talking about Cairns and the great outdoors, so I thought why not take us outside as well. I've got my seashells for ambience and also Melbourne's very nice weather. So last month I went to Cairns by myself, and I was originally going to make this video about the Cairns itinerary, but I think I might put that onto my blog post so I can put the whole list in. So instead I wanted to talk more about how underrated traveling in your own country is, as well as some things that I learned while I was away, and also some tips that I would give if you wanted to travel to Cairns yourself. Also, if you do hear noises around, they're doing construction right over there, and I don't know what they're doing, but it sounds violent. So I think I might start this video by addressing some questions that I got while I was away and also when I came back. The first one is, why travel solo? So if you didn't know, I was traveling around and studying in Europe for the majority of this year, and while I was there I explored a lot, but as soon as I came back I felt like I got back into my routine again. I really didn't explore as much as I wanted to, and also the idea of solo traveling started to become a little bit more daunting in a way. It just felt like it was something in the past and I wasn't as comfortable doing it again, which is just crazy because I was solo traveling for so long and it was so much fun. So obviously I didn't want to be in this strange mindset again, so I just decided to go. Why Cairns? So I might start actually with why Australia first. When I was away in Europe, so many Europeans told me about their travels around Australia, and I started getting tips from them and places to go because I either didn't know about them or just took them for granted. And I know it's not just me, because for most people, traveling within your own country is just not done. And I think it's because people think that people are the same, the culture's the same, you're not going to see much of a difference. And also, especially for Australia, if we've got the chance to travel, if we have the chance to travel, chances are we're going to go somewhere, exotic, but still close, like, I don't know, Fiji or something. But I personally believe that traveling is not defined by distance. So you can travel across the world, but it counts just as much to travel within your own city, for example, like taking a train across Melbourne and going to a place that you haven't been before. And you're definitely going to find something new and something that you can learn from. And why Cairns? Because I know I went off topic. The Reef. I think that's it, just the Reef. And on the topic of the Reef, is the Reef dead? From the video you can see that it actually isn't, but it is getting there. And I think this is a perfect time for a quick Coral 101. So coral have algae called zooxanthellae, in their tissues, which through photosynthesis just provides it with nutrients to survive and also to give their colourful appearance. Then what causes bleaching? So when there are unfavourable environments, for example, rising seawater temperatures or the acidity, algae will basically be expelled from the stressed coral. So that means that coral is basically giving up their main food source as well as its colour, causing it to look pale white, like this. And back to the question of, is the reef dead yet? So not yet. After expelling the algae, the coral is still alive, but just more likely to die in this state. And if these environments like high temperatures and acidity are short term, then the coral has the ability to recover. But as we keep seeing in the news, the changes in the climate are becoming more unpredictable and more severe. So technically coral can recover, but it needs enough time for it to do that. And if the warming is for a longer period of time than what the coral can actually withstand, then the coral will definitely die. And that makes me really sad because there's just so much beauty and life in the reef that seeing it go is incredibly devastating, as well as just harmful to the ecosystem and the marine life. So that means educating ourselves and others about what climate change is affecting. We can't prevent coral bleaching that's happening right now, but we can affect at least how fast it bleaches or to reduce the amount of bleaching in the future. Okay, so to brighten up the mood, I just have a quick tip about snorkeling in the reef or wherever. Don't smile, which I was doing most of the time because I was just so happy seeing the reef. But if you do smile, you're going to get water up in your goggles and it just gets a bit annoying. So tip 1. And another thing that I learnt on my trip to Cairns was that Australia is definitely living up to its stereotypes. Before Cairns, I thought that people were exaggerating about things like snakes and spiders and everything wanting to eat you. But then, yeah, I went to Cairns and I saw a lot of stuff that I wasn't comfortable with. So be safe or just come to Melbourne. Lesson number 3 that I learnt while away is that Australia is super underrated for Australians. And I mentioned before about how underrated it is to travel within your own country. And while I was traveling to Cairns, I did not meet any traveling Australians, just British people. They're everywhere. And that's so disappointing because Australia has so much to offer. So on the first day, I visited Fitzroy Island. I took a cruise there and back, and it was amazing. First, I hiked, and I would recommend that if you guys do visit, that you hike to the summit trail and then come back before swimming or snorkeling. And I'm not gonna lie though, the trail is pretty difficult, it's pretty challenging, and you will sweat so much. But once you get to the top, you'll know why you did it, because it is beautiful. You get an amazing view across all of Fitzroy Island, and yeah, it's gorgeous. So after the hike, then I went snorkeling, and I actually went past Nudie Beach, which isn't actually a nude beach, I thought it was, but nope. And if you go past, you do get more rocks though. It is a bit uncomfortable for your feet, but you don't get all that noise and you can snorkel in peace. So snorkeling in Fitzroy Island was nice, and especially because it was the first snorkeling experience that I had there. But if you do want better visibility, then definitely go to the outer reef, which is what I did for the next 2 days. The water was so clear and the marine diversity was just absolutely incredible. I was either shocked or smiling, and most of the time I just looked like this. And if I had to choose my favorite reef to snorkel in, it'd be Flynn Reef. Personally, I thought it had the most diversity in terms of shallow areas and deep areas, and there were just so many crevices that you just felt like a fish, and I really did. It was amazing. And just a side note, I really wanted to scuba dive, but I found out sadly that if you have asthma, even if you're, childhood asthma, you're not allowed to scuba dive in the Great Barrier Reef. They just won't let you. So that's just there to lower your expectations, because mine was so high, and when that person told me, yeah, it was sad. So I treated snorkeling a lot like Pokemon, just obviously without the catching. I found Nemo. Actually, I found Nemo and Marlin, amazingly. A giant clam, and apparently a clam this size would be around 100 years old. A pufferfish, a rainbow fish, schools of fish, sea cucumber, which I actually thought was a sandbag at first, and I got really upset because I thought people were littering in the ocean. And also a turtle, but that happened after we finished snorkeling. I didn't manage to find one of these though, which was pretty disappointing. And when you do come to Cairns, you'll realise that there are so many different cruises to choose from to go to the inner or the outer reef. Personally, if there's one reef cruise that I would highly recommend, it would be Dreamtime Dive and Snorkel. And obviously they've got nothing to do with me saying this. This is just what I experienced when I was there. You don't just get the reef experience, you also do get background into Indigenous culture, which we never really get to learn of. And I was just fascinated the whole time, so would highly, highly recommend. And on my last full day in Cairns, I decided to take a tour up north to Daintree Forest and Cape Tribulation, and we swam in Mossman Gorge, ate mangoes straight from the trees, searched for crocodiles, and my favourite by far, feeding sweet potatoes to wallabies. You can tell how happy I was, and it was definitely one of the highlights of the day. And this is my favourite photo. Lesson number 4, it's not as scary as you think it will be. So I have no idea why I was so hesitant to solo travel again, because I always have so much fun, I love exploring, and while I was in Cairns, I met some of the loveliest people, and they're so passionate about travel and are just there for a great time. With solo traveling, there's a lot of freedom just doing what you want to do, and no doubt you're going to find yourself in some random situations. So if you're contemplating solo traveling, I would recommend just do it. And you can start small on the weekends and go somewhere before you work your way up to somewhere interstate or overseas. So that wraps it up. I really hope you enjoyed listening to the lessons that I learnt, and hopefully it's motivated you to want to explore Australia or your own country a lot more. And if you have any questions about what to do in Cairns and you just want my personal opinions, write them down, send me a message or whatever. That sums it up. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Oh, sorry. Come back! Come back! I'm so sorry for laughing at you. No?